the voice chat of players who get reported before being reviewed by the team, and a requirement to tie a contract mobile phone to that game in an attempt to stop cheaters. On the official Overwatch forums, players have come to complaining that some of their services won't work, like internet-based phones and prepaid phones. That's
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
President Biden gets a first-hand look at mass destruction in Florida. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
We're here today because we wanted to tell you in person that we're thinking of you and we're not leaving. We're not leaving until this gets done. I promise you that.
After a helicopter ride over some of Hurricane Ian's worst damage, the president meeting with families and agencies helping them in Fort Myers.
And it's going to take a lot of time, not weeks or months. It's going to take years for everything to get squared away in the state of Florida, to fully recover and rebuild.
This at a joint news conference with Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. They have publicly criticized each other on many issues, but DeSantis is praising coordination at all levels of government in the storm response.
I think one of the things that you're seeing in this response, we are cutting through the bureaucracy. We are cutting through the red tape, and that's from local government, state government, all the way up to the president. So we appreciate the team effort.
The governor announcing earlier today, Pine Island now has access to the mainland again with a temporary bridge. And he says Florida's Disaster Relief Fund, launched last week, has raised over $35 million for charities helping with storm relief. An OPEC decision to cut oil production fuels more debate about the U.S. supply.
He is directing the Secretary of Energy to explore any additional responsible actions to continue increasing domestic production, which is on track to break a historic record next year.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says the president will also release another 10 million barrels from the Strategic Reserve next month. Republicans say his policies are holding back energy investment. A choppy day on Wall Street. The Dow finishing down 41 points at the closing bell, snapping a two-day winning streak, but rallying from a triple-digit drop earlier today. America is listening to Fox News.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APO. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APO is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apo.com.
Ukraine's president just giving a late-night video address and announcing that his forces have liberated 3 more settlements in a region that Russia has claimed to have annexed, this only hours after Russia's president put his signature on those annexation claims that have been rejected by many countries, including the U.S. Renewed questions about the Biden administration plan to hire thousands more workers for IRS audits as the Justice Department charges 5 current or former IRS employees with fraud involving COVID relief funds.
This bombshell investigation from the DOJ kind of highlights that the IRS might already have their hands full policing the people they already have on staff. One of these IRS employees committed pandemic fraud in more than one way. A 38-year-old woman from Cordova, Tennessee, submitted loan applications for pandemic relief for businesses that did not exist. She also claimed to be unemployed to collect extra cash, all while being actually employed by the IRS. So not only getting taxpayer-funded paychecks, but stealing taxpayer money at the same time.
Fox Business's Hillary Vaughn on Capitol Hill. The suspect said to have used the stolen funds for luxury goods. A federal watchdog recently estimated COVID-related unemployment fraud alone at more than $45 billion. Something shoppers have been missing for more than 2 years returns.
Some Trader Joe's customers celebrating a pre-pandemic perk, the return of free samples at select stores. One TikTok user after uploading video of her enjoying a snack with the caption, "Possibly the best day ever." The world has officially returned to normalcy. Until March of 2020 and the COVID shutdowns, shoppers had enjoyed everything from hot samples to sweets. Another popular sample program, Costco's, has already returned. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Again, stocks finished lower. The Dow down 42 points. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Fly to new experiences with 3 times United miles with First Hawaiian Bank's United credit card. Earn 3 times per dollar spent on United tickets purchased through United ticketing channels until February 28th, 2023, and 2 times miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pika's Best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tuman location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. It's 6:06 on Thursday, October 6th. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. A search for the vehicle driven by the man who robbed the Costco Mart in Mayina led to a high-speed chase on Tuesday night after the store owner said he didn't want to report the robbery to police that morning because previous theft cases were left unsolved. KUAM News alerted authorities. An officer spotted and tried to stop the car. The driver was identified as 21-year-old Jonathan Paul Pangilinan. GPD spokesperson Officer Berlin Savella says Pangilinan refused to pull over, and a high-speed chase pursued from Jigo to Tamuning and circled back to Dedido. The chase resulted in 2 patrol cars being badly damaged, but officers were able to pin the suspect's car. Savella says no one was hurt, but the estimated damages appeared to be upwards of $7,000. Pangilinan was arrested on suspicion of aggravated assault, use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony, reckless driving, evading police, resisting arrest, speeding, and no driver's license or registration. Prison records show this wasn't Pangilinan's first brush with the law. He was arrested twice earlier this year for aggravated assault, family violence, and retail theft. Meanwhile, 46-year-old Clarence Aldan was already on pretrial release for burglary when he struck again. This time, he had a child waiting in the car while he burglarized a Mangilaw home. Court documents state that police arrived at the home on Tuesday for a theft in progress. They found a black SUV parked across the street with no license plate and a minor inside. The minor told police that Aldan and a woman were breaking into the home while he stayed in the vehicle. During an interview, Aldan told police he pried open a window. After finding a safe in the house, he and the woman hid in a closet before police arrived. Aldan also admitted to owning a pipe and a baggie of meth that was found in the SUV and that he consumed the drug earlier. He had been previously arrested in August for burglarizing a home in May. Aldan was charged with burglary with notice of commission of a felony while on felony release and possession of a Schedule II. We'll have more news after this.
Choosing health insurance for my family is difficult. I need to know our health insurance will protect us now and in the future. Take Care members have access to the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs, and a high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and urgent care. My family choose Take Care. Your family should also consider choosing Take Care. Call 671-647-3526 for more information. Take Care. Our Island, your health plan.
The AG's office has received a $500,000 grant to improve access to victim services. A release states that Guam was one of 4 jurisdictions across the country to receive funding for the initiative. The grant will help with services for the AG's Victim Service Center, which assists more than 1,100 victims of crime each year. Services include keeping victims informed on the status of their cases, assistance with applying for relief such as the Criminal Injuries Compensation Program, providing transportation to court hearings, and emotional support. The AG's office will also look at using technology to increase accessibility to the compensation program, which provides financial relief to victims of violent crimes. More than $150,000 has been awarded to crime victims this year to cover costs such as medical bills and costs related to repairing damaged property. AG Levin Camacho says he is also looking at using grant funds to increase accessibility for crime victims and improve coordinated responses through the creation of a 24/7 teleservice and messaging system. Meanwhile, the Joint Region Marianas has assured Guam that the methods adopted by the military to dispose of hazardous waste are safe and legal. This comes after concerns were raised about open burning and open detonation and following the district court's recent decision to toss out the lawsuit filed against the U.S. Air Force by environmental groups Putehi Litegzan and Earth Justice. PIO Catherine Koenig says that under the current open burn, open detonation permit, 470 pounds of explosives were disposed in 2021 and only 100 pounds in 2022 so far. She adds that 35,000 pounds of explosives do not exist for disposal on the range, and there is no plan or need for this grossly exaggerated amount of munitions to be destroyed. While the military is authorized to conduct open burning, Koenig says records indicate that such a procedure has not been done at Andersen Air Force Base in over 10 years. As for open detonation, Koenig says this method has been determined to be the cleanest and safest way to dispose of deteriorated munitions left over from past wars. She adds that the proposed alternatives are heavily toxic to the environment and would create a large amount of waste. And those are your top stories right here on The Point. Now, here's Ray with your weather.
Yeah, I don't know. Any worse than the amount of trash fires and stuff that go on a regular basis around here on this side of the fence? You know, think about that. Yeah, all those pizza boxes and beer boxes that Real Joe and I go through on a weekly basis. What do you expect us to throw that in a trash? No. It's more fun to burn it in the backyard.
All my paper straws.
I make fire. Sorry, we're boys. We're basically animals that way. I mean, that's. Can you imagine when they do those kind of open pit burns? It's just just a bunch of guys over just kind of hanging around and acting like monkeys. Make
downwind, baby.
Partly sunny in the forecast today. Highs near 88 degrees with a heat index that'll feel like 94. Calm winds becoming east about 5 miles an hour. I don't know when the incredible flooding rains are going to be coming like that. I heard that they did yesterday. I didn't actually see it. Did anybody get caught in any of that stuff yesterday?
I saw it. Yeah,
I saw it too. Yeah, I'm looking over the Central Highlands going, wow, there's some menacing clouds up there. I wonder if they're heading in my direction. And apparently they didn't. They went south and inundated the place. Well, I don't know if there's going to be any more of that today. Partly cloudy, overnight lows of about 78 degrees tonight. There's mostly sunny in the forecast for tomorrow. Another play hooky day. Highs near 87 degrees. All right, here it is for Friday night, they say. Scattered showers and thunderstorms could be coming back into the forecast area. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies with overnight lows of about 78 degrees. Long-range forecast for Saturday, they're calling for partly sunny skies, highs near 85 degrees. Calm winds around this time of year, 5 to 7 miles an hour, becoming later in the afternoon. Sunrise this morning was about 3 minutes ago, and sunset tonight is going to take place at 6:07. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together on The Point, brought to you by Bank Pacific. Banking on the Pacific for 67 years.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services Morning shoes. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
I'm cranking things up here this morning. 6:14. Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and the guys over at Neutral Waste Systems. They got an office on the second floor of the Daily Plaza building in Venado. Give them a call and make arrangements and appointments. 864-7867. Again, that's 864-7867.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Happy noise here that we're playing in the background of music. Almost an invitation. It's a musical invitation to come and enjoy the Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Thrilled to be here with you. There's so much to talk about. So little time. Program note here. It's Thursday, and now veterans of the program know that Thursdays until my obligation, my service to the community has elapsed, and that probably won't be until late January, early February. I've got jury duty today. Don't say guilty. Don't. You're saying it. You're looking. I posted it up on the office chat yesterday, and that's the first line out of Real Joe. He comes back and says guilty. So I gave him. There's my favorite emoji these days is the emoji where the eyes are slats and the mouth is a slat as well. You know, that's just one of those. I cannot. There's no other way that I can register my utter disappointment here other than using that emoji these days. It's all right. I'll get through it. I'll get past it. But there's, as I said, I'm going to pack 4 hours of the Ray Gibson Show in the 2 hours that you and I have here this morning. Real Joe will take care of getting the phone when you call at 888-8255, 888-TALK. We got the meme machine going. You might be wondering what exactly that is. It's a way for you to send funny pictures or cool videos. We're getting a lot of videos these days of guys going out and jacking people's houses.
Oh no, you don't say.
Yeah, maybe there's some other videos that are floating around or exploding cars and things like that. But if you've got something cool that you want to share, 797-8255, 671-797-8255 if you're off island. Meme Machine Plain Boy has sent this one here in, and a reminder that there's going to be some kind of football going on over the next couple of days. It's tomorrow's Friday, and I'll tell you who's going to be playing here in just a second. I love this. It's a picture of a bunch of guys getting coached, and one of the football players says, "Coach, are we the hugs or the kisses?" Because, in football, the coaches, your team is the X's and the other team's is the O's. So which one? Are we the hugs or the kisses? Oh, it's just so cute. Donna D will take care of news and headlines for us this morning, although this is another one of those days where, you could almost hear at 5:30 that sound that woke you up. That was the sound of us scraping the bottom of the barrel for actual news stories. They're just... Yeah, and I'm going to complain about it again. There's just not a whole lot going on because everybody is in don't piss off the voters mode. That's where they are. That's where they are.
Everybody, stay small.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, stay small.
And just, maybe we do just under everybody's radar, and then people will remember how nice we are and how vital we are to the community and our positions as elected officials on the government of Guam. So be on the lookout for, those. Although I keep waiting for one of these guys to step in a puddle or come out and just say something that's going to just rile people up all the way to the election. 33 days between now and the general election. But if you want to get the early voting in, I think, what is it, the 11th is when there's going to be early voting over at the Westin. We'll get caught up in the next couple of days with Maria Pangolina and talk about that a little bit more. In the meantime, there are a number of stories that we can play around with, but I know that you don't tune in for that kind of thing. You know what? I know what you tune in for, and it's the continuing adventures of Operation Stay Cool at Ray's house. All right, so you remember a couple of weeks ago, the saga,
the Chronicles of Raymond.
Well, because okay, I don't want anybody to be surprised here, so I'll tell you right now, brace. The big story on the international economic scene, OPEC had a meeting.
No.
And yes, they did. OPEC had a meeting, and Joe Biden basically begging them to increase production so that there will be more oil, and increased supply would maybe make for lower prices for a barrel of oil. And the guys over at OPEC said, "What's that, old man? Can't hear you. What? Get off my yard. What are you saying?" And so they have agreed, all of them, to actually decrease production, decrease the amount of oil that OPEC is going to be pulling out of the ground by about, 2 million barrels a day or something like that. That is going to have a real and lasting and painful impact. So mark where the price of West Texas is today, and anticipate, just based on the news that OPEC is going to be stalling some production, expect that the price of West Texas crude is going to increase. Obviously, that means that there's going to be a companion increase in the price of gasoline, companion increase in the price of electricity, utilities, etc. I'm telling you right now, I don't want you to be surprised. Here's another piece of vital information. Before too much longer, all of that money that Lou sent as credits to you and I as ratepayers over at GPA, that's almost done. What are we, 3 payments in now? And of the $500, 3 installments of $100 each of about 5. That's going to be going away before too much longer. And I don't know if they're going to be able to convince the lady over at Adelup to give up some more. Well, what did I say? It was 33 days away from the election?
Oh, yeah. It's about that time, though.
Yeah. Just hold out and just at the last, maybe just right before, the week before the election, come out and say, I've been thinking about it. That $300 million in the bank, that's not doing anybody any good right now, and we sure could use the break, because Ray Gibson said so. And just before the election, come back out and say, thank you for the federal funds. I'm going to give John Benevetti some more money so that you don't have to pay as much for electricity. Maybe something like that is going to happen. But in case it doesn't, one of the big consumers of electricity at my house, as you know, is the air conditioner. I live on Guam, born and raised here, and I'm addicted to air conditioning, and I'm also addicted to hot water. And I figured out, if I turn on the hot water heater like really good on Monday at 4 o'clock and leave it on until just before I leave the house at 4:45, something like that. That will give me enough hot water, certainly for the day. But as the days go by, it continues to stay warm. I'm the only one taking a shower in the house, so it can stay warm Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even into Thursday. So I got that going for me. So I don't need to hit the hot water heater every day. But the air conditioner, yeah. So that's
that thermostat.
Okay,
baby.
so a few weeks back, had the aircon kuya come by and check the refrigerant, and he says it's a little bit low, so he topped the thing off. And remind me, I gotta have him come back and check for a leak or something like that. But anyway, so that's that part. The outside unit's working, but he said, "Hey, Mr. Z," and I said, "Avalidzo." He says, your inside unit's really dirty." I said, okay, well, then clean it. He says, I have to, you have to schedule it. So the schedule worked out. So the guy comes over to the house yesterday and cleans up the inside and all the little aluminum fins and all of that stuff. And it's practically Arctic. And then, of course, last weekend, Ton Mendiola came and did the roof. The roof. Which is now it's as white as I am.
Oh, wow.
And so which is good. So I've got those 3 steps that have been taken care of now, and the next steps are going to be to go out there and buy some white paint for the roof. I don't care what you think I should buy for the house. Whatever ERC is selling, whatever the cheapest primer is going to be, I'm buying a 5-gallon pail of that, and then I will save a little bit more money and buy the most elastomeric and longest lasting that I can find. Whether it's elastomeric or just plain white, or whether it's silicone, we'll see what happens. And obviously, I will bore you with those details when that comes. Anyway, so the GoFundMe for my expensive paint is Operation Stay Cool at GoFundMe.com on the World Wide Web.
Send me the link, man.
Right?
I want to donate.
Yeah, vote for me or don't vote for me, and the Pika's best thing. But send me some money so I can cool off the house. Anyway, 6:23 in the morning. Speaking of cool people.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all
promised I'd tell you, so here it comes. Friday morning, 10:15. Tomorrow morning at 10:15, it's going to be the Colts versus the Broncos in the NFL in the first game of week number 5 of the National Football League. And I got to say, so far, I'm not paying any attention to it. It's just I'm giving you the schedule and the scores, and that's as much into the games as I've been getting into these days. Anyway, 6:24 in the morning, and let's see who's at number 1 today. Good to see big man Rico Blancafor. At number 1 on my app here says peak is best. The Point. Thanks for saying so, buddy. Everybody believes you. Tim Zedeker sending his good morning wishes. Auntie Bennett, Lujan Duenas, and the hot sister of the program. That would be Pam Duvall. Ow. Checking us out. Henry Menglotya also online. Jay Nauta is there. Oh, did you almost hit the button on the Jay Rojas jingle?
No.
And speaking of jingles, Donna D said yesterday, I don't know if you caught it, Donna D said yesterday, fine, Ray, fine. If you win Pika's Best for a radio personality, she will come up with some kind of a jingle for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to go down.
I'm nervous
I'm excited about it, man.
No, I'll help you out here. I don't know, something along the lines of the Batman theme.
That's a surprise right there, man.
Batman or the theme from the Munsters.
So basically campy.
I want it campy. I want it 60s, jingle jangle kind of.
Okay,
yeah,
because I was thinking funk.
Funk works too. We can do that. Okay. I got the moves. There, you see the wrist rolls? No, it takes time. It takes time. A lot of practice.
Okay, well, I guess get those votes in.
Oliver Malakas is online there. Ron Castro, one of my favorite artists of all time, is playing around on the program. Ron Castro is old enough to remember what do you call it? Booty Express program. No, Soul Train.
Yeah.
Soul Train. I never understood why the older guys in the family always watch that program. And it's just that, and now that I'm older, I'm going, I get it now. Totally get it. But Ron has memories of the old Soul Train television program, watching that on Saturday morning after the cartoons. I got Nate Hort is there. As I said, Francie Solis, good morning to Ismail, says Floridians want him gone. They don't want him out of the state. They don't mind the federal entities, but want him personally out of the state. Are we talking about Biden? Is he? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's who you're talking about.
Morning, Chief.
Also, for those of you that missed the late in the program yesterday, we did get some time with Dr. George Macris, who is in the state of Florida, and his place was supposed to be, it was in line, apparently, to get just slammed by this Hurricane Ian that went through, and then at the last minute, the storm took a turn. They did get their hair messed, but it wasn't the type of damage that we're seeing. Boy, I tell you what, I've been watching some of the footage coming down, and they've got good cameras that have been anchored to things. There is some just horrific video out there that you can see where houses just disintegrate over time. The roof flies away, and then all of a sudden you see bits and pieces of the rest of the house, and you just pray that nobody is in there. You're just hoping that somebody was able to get them evacuated. Nate Horn online. I see. Let me see. John Ray Taitano. Anthony Bennett says vote for change. Sarah Lake. There's one of our favorite teachers. Magandang umaga, lovely people. Don't forget to pick this show for Pika's Best. I love you, sweetheart. Jay Rojas is online saying aloha.
JJ, happy birthday to you. JJ, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, that's nice. The beautiful Sarita Garin is also online. I'm transitioning from just calling her the pretty Sarita Garin to the beautiful Sarita Garin. Also, a great eye for sunset. Sunrise. She sent some beautiful sunrise shots in for early Thursday morning. Just great crepuscular rays. Look at the pinks and the blues in these pictures. Absolutely terrific. They're very maraming maganda. Just you. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, it's nice to have you online, and thanks for participating. Vince Delgado saying good morning to everybody. I got Rebecca Salazar says, good morning, Guam. Watching from Las Vegas. Hey, Rebecca Salazar out in Las Vegas. Are you noticing that there's more Guamanians running around and they're not there on vacation? Have you been recently to the Walmart downtown and look around and go, not Mexican. Those people are from Guam.
Yeah.
Right?
You can pick them out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know what your experience is. All right, Sarita says it's Thirsty Thursday vibe. Well, you've got got my WhatsApp, sweetheart. Send me a wink and the location. Drop me a pin. And there's every possibility that there could be some hanging out here tonight. Ismail says it should no longer be referred to as the strategic reserves. It should now be called the American Spare 5-gallon jug. Have they given away virtually all of the... I mean, the whole point of that was, look, if we get into a shooting war with somebody and we can't import any oil, we've at least got these reserves. But I think they have been, in an effort to keep, to artificially keep the prices of gasoline and fuel low, they've been drawing down on that strategic reserve for some time. And I honestly don't know if we're going to have everything that we need when we need it. Jose Tatpago is out there. Dan Rasal saying, basically saying the same thing. Here we got Peter J. Santos. Hey, I know that guy.
No jingle.
No, not
Sorry,
yet.
man.
Well, you got to win. He's got to win the election. That's where we are here.
Dude.
Whoever's going to be the next AG is going to get a jingle. LOL Funk. Did Ray not shower this morning? Sandra? Lots of shower. Not just the stinky parts. I mean, got washed the whole entire thing. Let me see. Anna Marie is there, and Enrico Blancaflor saying, "Oh yeah, vote Montesilva Tyrant for senator." Yeah, get the whole family in there. I appreciate that. All right, so who else is playing around? Donna D says, "Tony Uggan, I love Scooby Doo. The Scooby Doo theme. You know what? That's actually family nickname for Dave." Was Scooby? Yeah, Scooby Doo was like the most popular television show at the time when my brother Dave was born, and so Granddaddy always called him Scooby Doo. Yeah, and the name sticks. Brennan Fausto is there. I like mine hot, Coco. Let's go, brother. Rico B said 2 number 1s this week. Whoa, this new ultra high tech warp speed gazillion gigs phone is awesome. Marla Carbolito Castro is there. Pam says Biden is the commander in thief. Ouch. Sarita Garin, don't mess with Mother Nature. Ed Buendicho calling for the Donna D theme. No? Not feeling thematic about yourself? All right, well, Bandit, I'll work on it. Thanks for the hint, though. Maganda Umaga from Sacramento. That's where Carl Meyer of the Herodot, the APL Herodot, is. As I said, Sandra Rages. Biba is watching the program. John Ramos and Tony Uggan. Dennis Benzer says, Ray, I don't know how you do it. I had to be at work before 6 every morning this week. At least you don't work past 5 p.m. The way I do it, so Dennis talking about being an early riser, and I appreciate that. Wake up at 4 o'clock. Literally, the hardest part of my workday is getting up in the morning at 4, especially after I'm hanging out with Dennis and Sarita and other members of a very lively crew until about 9 o'clock at night. I work here 11 o'clock noon, go home, and I'll take a nap, have a lunch. I'll wake up. And there's work going on over at the house. I'm like anybody else here. There's work that I can only do in the building, and then there's work that I could do from the beach or the house, and I'll do that. So there's a whole lot of back and forth and virtual meetings and emails that take place in the afternoon. And then at a certain time, there comes the hardest decision that I've got to make every day, and that is, where am I going this evening? Who is going to get their share of the paltry Ray Gibson income? How am I going to boost the restaurant and cafe and pub economy here on Guam? That is easily the hardest decision that I've got to make, and that's why sometimes I count on you to reach out to me and drop me pins and say, we are here. Sheila Morgan saying good morning all. Real Joe. Right click.
Real person?
Believe that's a real person. Junka Mofness is online, and Auntie Bennett also dittoing what Rico was saying about voting for Mana. 6:33 in the morning. Items in the table of contents today. Did I already tell everybody about the aircon guy coming to the house yesterday?
No, not yet.
I just thought I'd underscore that here. and this guy, I loved it. This guy, Joe, he's one of my favorite of all of the aircon kuyas I've ever had. I like him the most because he's like gets about a third of the way done with the quarter of the way done with the process and starts going, oh yeah. This is gonna be like Pedro's Ice Planet here. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Hey, see, you know that feeling you get when you open the freezer over at Cost You Less? I'm like, yeah. He says it's gonna be just like that, bro. Just wait, man. Half hour after I leave, you're gonna want a blanket. You're gonna want to put on your sweater and your blanket. It's gonna be. Yeah.
Oh, man, nice, sold
nice.
You, dude.
Oh, yeah, completely sold. You can come back anytime. I give him beer. 6:33 on the Ray Gibson Show. As I said, items in the table of contents. There are enough. There's enough here for a 4-hour show. So certainly there's enough here to get us into the fun part of a 2-hour show, up to and including. Where's the butt hurt? Somewhere is butthurt. I got an email yesterday from the guys over at the Democrat Party of Guam. No, I'm sorry. This is not the Democrat Party. This is the All In. These are the people. Well, I guess they're the same thing, right? The Democratic Party of Lou and the All In campaign. In recent days, our opponents have canceled on debates arranged by tomorrow's speakers, women in business, and the island's media. That is wrong. Elected leaders are responsible to everyone, not just the people or organizations they like. So long as our schedule permits, Lou and Josh have agreed to debate Felix and Tony anytime, anywhere. Just send us the location. That said, we will not allow our opponents to dictate to this community who matters and who doesn't by shutting out tomorrow's speakers. How dare you? Women in business and the island's media, our opponents send a dangerous message, and we will not be part of it. It's either all debates or no debates. If our opponents change their minds, we're ready and eager to meet them and lay out our vision for the future of Guam. If they persist in dictating who counts and who gets counted out, we will not share any future stage with them.
Pinitizu?
Right? No. Can I just...
Shots fired, Ray.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, where did this amount of butthurt come from? And I'm hearing all kinds of things, but let me just, I'll without putting too fine a point on this. Well, maybe I should because it's talk radio. This might be the thinking from among the Felix and Tony camp. Lou was in a debate with Mike St. Nicholas. You remember? And ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Then she was in a debate with Felix and Tony.
Oh.
Where'd she end up?
GMH.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think maybe the idea among the Republicans is, look, we do a debate, it could kill her.
It's for you.
Yeah, we're doing out of an abundance of caution. This is, after all, we continue to be in a 40-month public health emergency, and maybe just out of an abundance of caution, we ought to hold off on any debates because we don't know what's going on. Unless maybe we'll, you know what? Let's have the debate in the emergency room. Then if something happens, right there, got doctors and nurses and machines that we can plug in, and everybody is going to be okay. So I don't know. We'll see if we can get a hold of some guys over at the Tony and Felix camp or the Juan Carlos or something like that, and find out exactly what the reasoning is. Now, there are some people that say, well, maybe they're just not happy with the moderators of the debate. I heard about this where I guess the media was calling for a debate, and they were going to have Patty Arroyo do it, and then apparently they sent a letter to her and to them, to the group of media guys, and said, yeah, we're not going to do this. We don't think she's that she'd be able to be unbiased about the whole thing. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. They didn't ask me because wait. I'm sorry. I'm not in that, I'm not in the cool kid media group. So they didn't bother asking me, but I have in the past acted as a moderator for some of these debates. And I can put aside any bias that I have for the hour or two that it takes to get these kinds of things done. But yeah, I'm not surprised that they didn't ask me to do it. 6:37 on the Ray Gibson Show. Lots to get to in the table of contents. Donna D has got her share of news, and she's going to bring some of that to you right about now. Donna, what happened?
22-year-old Robert James Taisakan Sablan Jr. was arrested in connection to a robbery reported at a Dedido store over the summer. Court documents state that Sablan stole 2 cases of corned beef from the store in July. A woman ran after him and grabbed his arm, causing him to drop the stolen food. Sablan then pinned the woman to a nearby car and threatened to hurt her until bystanders stepped in. Sablan then grabbed one of the cases and took off. He was charged with robbery. There are no details on how authorities were able to track him down. Meanwhile, the Luleon Guerrero Josh Tenorio campaign team is calling out rival gubernatorial candidates Felix Camacho and Tony Ada for declining recent debate invitations. Campaign manager Rory Respicio criticized the opposing team in a release, saying, "Elected leaders are responsible to everyone, not just the people or organizations they like." The release notes that Camacho has turned down debates arranged by Chamorro speakers, women in business, and the island's media. The Camacho Ada team declined to comment. And the promise of free college credit for those who would work the polls election day has dried up. A course and internship on elections administration was meant to help the Guam Election Commission recruit precinct officials. UOG is hosting the course but has declined to provide students the 2 college credits that the Election Commission wanted. Those taking the course will only get continuing education credits. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Somebody mentioned on the online that there is an excessive use in that statement that came from Roy Respicio, the excessive use of the word dictate. Well, it's actually there's only 2. That said, we will not allow our opponents to dictate to this community who matters and who doesn't. And then in the third paragraph, if our opponents change their minds, we're ready and eager to meet them and lay out our vision for the future of Guam. If they persist in dictating who counts and who gets counted out, we will not share any future stage with them. Does it sound like they're using Felix and Tony turning down a debate as an excuse to never have debates again? We're never going to share that stage because we remember what happened at the Hilton. Right? You think maybe there might be some of that. Never mind the hospital thing. Never mind the hospital thing. But when Felix, took off his gloves at the end of the debate and started just swinging, maybe they just don't want a reprise of that. 20 away from 7 o'clock in the morning. And let me just finish out a couple of things. Did you right-click on Sheila Morgan yet?
Oh, no.
Oh, you're slow.
I'm sorry.
All right. Junka Mofness is there. Let me see. Nap is a must. Recharge, re-energize, says Sarita Henry. Letting you online. All nap together. Wouldn't that be that could be a thing. Christine Oliver online says, happy birthday to my mother, Carol Oliver, 71 years old. Well, happy birthday, Mom, from the Christine Oliver. Benidoso Tau online. Post office Tammy is there. Dramatic. Use hemorrhoids cream for goodness sakes, says Sarita. Rico B says, hey, farters. Governor Felix kicked Red Queen's butt in the last debate. Me thinks the Red Queen is the one who fears any more debates. Lose in her own state of emergency, said Pam. She should be taking a mental health. Matt Galendez is there. There's just some sweet stuff floating around. The In campaign is all about petty sniping. Fart is a very appropriate name. And for those of you that are going, oh my God, he's saying fart on the radio, he just wants to be, cutting edge and kind of, whatever. No. It's that is a point listener fabricated phrase. Now, I did not come up with it. It was point listeners in the Facebook side that came out with Facebook. Facebook, what is it? Administration response team. So anytime, thank you. There it is. That's their jingle.
I'm sorry, man.
So it came up with these guys. Anytime somebody says something about Lou or says something too nice about Felix or whatever, then somebody from over at the administration feels like they're obligated to go in there and straighten it out. But have you ever noticed? Did you notice they stopped doing that on Facebook and YouTube?
We had backed off, man.
For a while. We had our share of farters on the Facebook chat, but they're gone.
Following orders, Ray.
Chased away by our superior and mentally superior guys. Bill Petit's online. Jose Martinez. Remember when the Camacho Ada campaign put out a press release? Then LGT canceled an appearance with Candid and refused to respond to Candid's questions. Wait, they didn't. Charles Craw is there. Crybaby Rory sitting in the water. Ron Castro, Greg Bass Knight saying good morning to everybody in the family. Well, right on. 888-8255-888-TALK at 6:42 in the morning. Quick look at traffic and more on the way.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarte Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Take out your Law and Order notebook, guys. We're going to get a lesson here in the separation of powers from former Attorney General Doug Moreland. I read an opinion piece that he put together in the Daily News, but I didn't quite understand it. So we'll be talking to him in just a second. 6:43 on the Ray Gibson Show. Is it weather? No, it's not weather. It's traffic. And we had awful traffic yesterday up at Polaris Point. Already starting to look a little bit busy there. A little bit of traffic over by Big Navy in Sumai. Also, be on the lookout for some traffic over at the intersection that takes you into the Payless, that's Santa Rita intersection that they've got down there. They're doing construction and it's slowing traffic down, but don't worry, you'll all be happy in just a few weeks when it's all done. Not a whole lot happening up at Anderson Air Force Base. A little bit of traffic leading into Gadzanero and a little bit of traffic over at the intersection of Marine Corps Drive and Waisang Song. Not a lot happening. It's regular traffic at the intersection of 1 and 3. Smooth going even at the Micronesia Mall. All the way southbound, things are going to be all right. So enjoy drive here this morning at 6:44 on the Ray Gibson Show.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Attention all passengers. This is your pre-boarding announcement for flight UOG EF40, scheduled for departure on Saturday, October 8th for our gala destination at the Dusitani Guam Resort. Passenger check-in time is 5 p.m. Your onboard entertainment will be a reunion of the casuals with Jesse and Ruby. For ticketing information, please call our agents at 671-735-2957. We thank you for choosing to fly with the UOG Endowment Foundation. Enjoy your flight with Triton's Transforming the World.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
There are stories, and then there are big stories, and unfortunately, we seem to be, Guam seems to be the only place that it doesn't seem interested in what could potentially happen in Guam. I always tell you about the Google alerts. Top story, Nick Cannon and Brittany Bell. I'm sorry, that's no longer the top story internationally. The top story internationally is, and it's amazing the number of stories that are out there floating around talking about how Guam is now within striking distance from North Korea. That we told you about this the other day, right? And I'm sure Doug will agree. There's not enough attention coming out of the administration. There's not enough attention coming out of Homeland Security and Civil Defense. That rocket that they flew over Japan. That rocket had a range of 4,500 kilometers.
Oh, that's far, right?
Yeah, well, you know what? Guam is only 3,500 kilometers away from Pyongyang. So we are inside now the range of this missile. And nobody is talking about that. High Command's not talking about that. Adloop's not talking about that. Nobody in the media is talking about that. I'll tell you the rest of the story before too much longer. In the newspaper this morning, Attorney General Doug Moreland says the AG has a duty to protect taxpayers. Duty? He said duty. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, Ray.
So you laid this thing out, and then I kind of got lost in the second paragraph where you talk about how there is a violation of the Organics Act's separation of powers with the authority of the legislature to appropriate taxpayer monies, and it all kind of orbits around Guam Memorial Hospital. Could you straighten that out just a little bit more for me?
Well, Ray, I understand that the governor is taking what appears to be a unilateral act to build a new hospital from its current location. And in order to do that, the way that I see what's going on is that at some point the legislature is going to have to fund that hospital. Now, she's mentioning, the president's going to pay for it or all these different funding sources. But, that is a core responsibility of the legislature is the power of the purse. And the ability for one branch of government to commit the other branch of government, which is the taxpayers, essentially when we're talking about appropriations, I think requires a very careful review by the Attorney General's office, as well as each of the two branches of government that are currently involved in this, the executive and the legislative. Even if the governor were to pull off building a hospital, first of all, the decision on the land, if there's any government land, the legislature has absolute authority on the use of government property, taxpayer property, on real property, but the appropriation on who's going to fund that. Because once you build the hospital, it's not just building it. As everybody knows, most of the costs are going to come in on appropriating the monies, for equipment, labor, and so forth.
Yeah. Well, and whatever financing that we're going to need to have, that's all got to get the blessing and approval of the legislature. Right.
So I see one branch of government essentially overstepping its authority, and then the legislative branch, which is not a prosecutorial branch, it's basically a branch given the authority under the Organic Act. But the AG has the ability to try to bring balance between the two branches if he can, or take it to the court. Now, of course, we're 3 steps ahead when you talk about taking it to the court. But why hasn't the AG come out and kind of informed the branches that there may be a violation, sat down with the Speaker and the Oversight Committee, and essentially said, what is your position on this? It looks like you may have a role on it. You've got private taxpayers getting arrested for trying to raise an issue. But really, the government in itself should be shepherding itself. And, that's where I see this coming in. It's not just the build, it's the fund, and even it's the decision. But, of course, the governor's always going to refer to the Baldwin decision, which is the Ninth Circuit decision, that says that she has or he has the authority to regulate health care. I believe that was it may have been Governor Gutierrez at the time, or one of the governors in the Baldwin decision. But, I guess the point is we're dealing with money, and that's taxpayer, and that is within the exclusive purview of the legislature.
Has a tort been committed yet, though? Is there a damage that has been done? Argument could be made that this workshop that Ken, who's online too, that Ken got arrested at, an argument could be made that is indicative of money that is getting spent towards this goal. Is that sufficient enough for the Attorney General's office to look into it?
I believe it is, but it would be under the purview of an Organic Act violation potentially, and it's clearly within the Speaker and the senators. They should be aware of it and then make a decision at some point whether or not they want to pursue it. That's why the government has to work together within its framework in order to make sure that essentially the taxpayers are paying for everything. Whether you're talking about planning meetings, whether you're talking about so forth. If the legislature says we're not going to do it and they're very clear on it, then why are the taxpayers funding all these preparatory type of actions?
Apparently, there's a contract that exists between Guam Memorial Hospital and this HDR company. So monies are being spent, and maybe that's going to be sufficient for somebody at the Attorney General's office to take a look at the possibility of a violation. There's your name came up in another story in one of the newspapers. Apparently, there were some signs up over at the Archbishop's Circle talking about the next AG that were outside the limits of the signage laws that we've got here on Guam. And you've already stated for the record, those aren't your signs.
That's correct. They're not my signs.
But you agree with you agree with them, don't you?
Well, I do agree, and I think that this is where the voters of Guam are coming out. Whoever's putting those signs up is coming out and making a statement that something is wrong in the government, specifically, I guess, the AG's office. These are freedom of speech type issues. These are political speech is the most protected form of free speech. So, yeah, it's basically highlighting something that I've been hearing out on the campaign trail, that there's big problems on crime on Guam. People want it stopped. I think they mentioned the meth again. This whole idea that drugs is entwined with a lot of crime.
Methamphetamine is cheaper than ever. Burglars, thieves, and robbers run rampant. And so the signs have apparently been taken down by DPW, et cetera. And here's an offer I'll make. Whoever has these signs, whoever put these signs up, I've got a piece of private property. You're more than welcome to come and erect a sign on that says exactly that kind of thing.
There's another point that if I get in as AG, I'm going to be having the AG's office research and potentially strike that statute those guys passed way back when. You can't be you can't restrict freedom of speech access to government property. They allow private companies to put up signs on government property. The legislature and the governor, whoever passed that statute that restricted political signs to go up on government property, I believe has violated the First Amendment.
Oh, interesting.
The most protected form of speech is political speech. As much as people may get aggravated about what everybody's opinion is, that is what makes democracy. That is the core. The U.S. Supreme Court has spoken very clearly on that issue. How is Guam doing this? The same idea that with the firearms registration. You got that case in Fox News right now, if you read it. about the Second Amendment. They're even looking at striking having a license to hold a firearm because it's so fundamental to the Constitution. That's the same thing with these political signs.
Do me a favor. You're kind of on a roll here this morning, but do me a favor. When you do get elected, we need to take a look at the rules that have been promulgated. They're not in the statute that require me as a concealed carry certificate holder to recertify another safety class in order to get my license renewed, which is an additional $150. Now I can afford it, but I don't understand why that's in there. We don't ask people with DD-214s to rejoin the military and get another DD-214 for their renewals.
Right, it's more fundamental. They shouldn't have passed those statutes whatsoever. You can't. The first question is whether or not you can require an actual license to carry a firearm. That's the Supreme Court case.
Correct.
I think it was the Brewer decision. But the second question is, these guys went one step too far, which was to differentiate the concealed carry permit requirements from the non-concealed permit requirements. I think that's totally unconstitutional. But we'll do the research, and we'll put it together if the research supports it, and then bring it into court. That's one of the powers of the AG and duties, challenge unconstitutional laws so that we as citizens aren't burdened and having our liberty rights restrained.
God, I can hardly wait. Doug, 6:54 in the morning. You have a fantastic rest of the day. Appreciate your calling. All right, groovy. 888-8255-888-TALK. And a note here, that near as I can tell, this is the first day this week that Ken Leon Guerrero's name has not shown up in the newspaper. But and he's on line. I'll get to you in just a second. I just need to put this up here. Limited amount of time for which I can throw out some of the juicy stuff of the Ray Gibson Show. But celebrity birthdays. I'm not going to do the whole list today or right now. But I'm going to say that Amy Jo Johnson is celebrating a birthday. Amy Jo Johnson is 52 years old.
What?
She was Pink Ranger.
52?
Pink Ranger is 52 years old.
Oh,
Happy
wow.
birthday to the Pink Ranger. Not my favorite. Yellow Ranger was my favorite.
Of course.
Gonna say it. The Yellow Ranger was my favorite. Yeah, isn't that something? That they made the Yellow Ranger an Asian. Nobody. And you know what? And you know what?
And Black Ranger was black.
Oh, that is
nobody.
Remember that?
Nobody complained. Well, you can't see him on the screen. But yeah, nobody complained. You know why? Because we weren't snowflakes back then. Now we're complete and total snowflakes. And you couldn't put that version of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers together today without some kind of Karen complaining. Good morning, Ken Leon Guerrero, 655, make it count.
It's interesting that Doug Moylan brought up the issue on the illegal bond for GMH because I've been doing my research, getting ready to file another lawsuit against the governor on that because the documentation I have received so far shows that she is in clear violation of Public Law 24222, which requires a public vote on any debt in excess of $25 million issued by government of Guam. Now, the legislature gets around it every year by putting that notwithstanding clause. So when I filed lawsuit on the gas tax and the 1%, I was knocked down because that notwithstanding clause. But the governor didn't go through the legislature. There is no notwithstanding clause attached to her signature to a document authorizing the creation of a $600 million general obligation bond issued by government of Guam. So I'm in the process now of drilling down on that and hopefully coming soon to a theater near you. But I called in originally on the debate issue.
Yeah.
Because after the governor took that victory lap over her awesome victory in the Guam Medical Association, and she issued that press release that she will debate anybody, anytime, anywhere on any subject. Well, I took her up on that. I issued an invitation for her to meet with me and debate on issues that were not covered by the GMA debate.
Right.
And they told me, oh, no, you got to send that to the campaign. So I sent it to the campaign. And as you can imagine, crickets ever since. Because the last thing she wants to do is debate any issue with me. So there we have it.
Okay.
She's taking.
You still there? You all right?
Feeding her chest.
I'm getting all excited here.
Ability to debate anybody, anywhere, as long as it's not Ken.
Well, it's either that or your little people. It's either that or your little people, and I'm sorry, I'm not stepping down into your arena. I only want people that are on the same level, the same playing platform as me. And you're running for the legislature? Get out of here, candidate Ken Vick. We only want to talk to Felix and Tony in these debates.
Well, maybe she'll have to appear in court to defend herself against a 24-222 taxpayer lawsuit.
Well, she's got the attorney general's in her pocket, so I suppose the attorney general will go in her stead. 6:58 and change, dude. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
You got it.
I got it. Reason I got to rush through that, Fox News coming up here in just moments. And on the other side of that, we got the local news. Jerry Roberts coming in with the extra point. And then at 8 o'clock this morning, I got to go because it's jury duty Thursday. Got the thing in the messenger again yesterday. And so that's going to be my plan for today. Hopefully, we're not going to have to sit through too many cases. And God, I wish I could tell you about some of the cases that we have sat in on. I will say, suffice to say that some of them are actually in the newspapers and in some of the TV scripts. And we'll go over maybe the other interesting things. There's some great magistrate reports here that include guys apologizing to the police officer. Like that's going to get you out of trouble. What's that, sir? Yes, it is. Yes, I have a gun here and I don't have a permit, number one. And number two, that's a bowl of crystal methamphetamine on my lap. Sorry, officer. Has it ever happened where the police officer says, "It's okay, boy, don't do it again"? Then just let you go?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Hey, look, closing in on 7 o'clock in the morning, the radio station KUSG had gotten you. Do yourself a favor. Don't get caught by surprise. You're not going to hear this from the government of Guam, but North Korea now has missiles that are within striking distance of Guam. Make a mental note of it today. Would you stand by now? Here's the news.
They're on the same team. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. For hurricane relief, at least, President Biden and Florida's Republican governor are holding a joint briefing in Fort Myers, one of the areas with the most damage from Hurricane Ian.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says the recovery is well underway.
We've deployed resources that were pre-staged and are now in the field for food, water, and other types of supplies.
President Biden, who got a look at damage from the air, says more will be needed to help those affected by Ian survive the next major storm.
We're going to help rebuild roads and bridges and public water systems. We've already allocated funding from the infrastructure law that I signed to continue making Florida's power grid more resilient than it is now.
The president says the federal government will be with Florida every step of the way.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The president is also doubling the amount of time the federal government will cover response costs. What happened at a meeting in Vienna could pump up gas prices in the U.S. as OPEC nations cut oil production by a larger than expected 2 million barrels a day, beginning next month.
This after President Biden's trip to Saudi Arabia in July failed to secure any oil commitments to meet demand. White House spokesman John Kirby on Fox's America's Newsroom.
And it's also why the president is working so hard on clean energy solutions, because that's really the future.
Right now, AAA has regular unleaded averaging $3.83 per gallon nationwide as gas prices in Los Angeles this week top a record high of almost $6.50 per gallon.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. The White House has said the Saudi Arabia trip wasn't about oil and says the president will release more oil from the strategic reserves next month. The rebound's over, at least for today on Wall Street, and it could have been worse. The Dow drops 42 points after pairing heavier losses. America is listening to Fox News.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
Happy day. This is Clara Manglania from Security Title. A power of attorney can be a useful tool in a real estate transaction, but if abused, it can result in devastating loss. Choosing your representative should be done with the utmost care and should be very specific about the powers being granted. To mitigate loss, the team at Security Title confirms with the owner prior to using a power of attorney to sell the property. Each transaction is unique. Let the professionals at Security Title use our experience to facilitate a secure closing. We are here to help.
The man accused of killing a father of 3 in a hotel lobby over the weekend in New York was already wanted in Georgia on drug and gun charges in connection with a gang-related murder.
Investigators tell us Roy Johnson Jr. was hiding out at the Marriott Hotel and leaving in and out of New York, which made it nearly impossible to track him down.
Fox's Alexis McAdams, a warrant for Johnson had reportedly been put into a national database in July. He also has an arrest record in New York.
Last year in New York, he faced 8 charges ranging from attempted assault to possession of a weapon. Those charges were dropped. Now he's facing second-degree murder charges, and he was walking free when police say he killed Paul Coots. The shooting happened on Sunday morning in the lobby. Investigators tell us Johnson got into an argument with the hotel employee about the coffee. Then he sprayed bullets around the room and killed Coots.
Coots was in Poughkeepsie to visit one of his children during family weekend at Marist College. A second suspect was arrested for criminal weapons possession, and both are due in court on Friday. A wrongful death lawsuit over a fatal movie set shooting by actor Alec Baldwin has been settled if a court signs off on the agreement. However, the criminal investigation of that shooting continues, but filming on the movie Rust could resume in January. Meta rolls out more ways to customize a Facebook feed.
Going forward, Facebook users will start to see show more or show less buttons on posts from people, pages, or groups they're connected to or those recommended to them, giving them more control over the platform's algorithm. Show more will temporarily increase the ranking score for that post and posts like it, while show less will decrease the ranking score. Meta's Facebook also testing new settings to let users customize how much content they see from family, friends, pages, or public figures they follow.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin and Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Choosing health insurance for my family is difficult. I need to know our health insurance will protect us now and in the future. Take Care members have access to the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs, and a high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and urgent care. My family choose Take Care. Your family should also consider choosing Take Care. Call 671-647-3526 for more information. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Our dear people of Guam, BK has been nominated the following for Pika's Best of 2022. Best Burger, Best Fast Food, Best Carry-Out Drive-Thru, Best Late Night, Best American Food, and Best Dinner under $10. Burger King thanks you for your nominations, and now they're asking for your continued support once again during voting phase, which will start on October 4th and ends on October 28th. Winners will be announced on November 18th in a special Pika edition. The voting link is www.guampdn.com/bestofguam. Remember, you can vote once per day during the voting period, so please share with your friends and family. Viva BK!
Holiday at 7:06. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. Witness testimony described encounters with retired GPD Lieutenant Jojo Templo Garcia during his trial yesterday before Judge Maria Senzon. Garcia was indicted in February on multiple counts of terrorizing and reckless conduct and official misconduct. Charging documents provide little detail of Garcia's charges. Garcia's neighbor, Joseph Andrew Borja, testified that he's only had 2 interactions with Garcia, but recalls complaints from friends and family members who said they were harassed when they left his house. Borja recalled one incident when Garcia was arguing with a female neighbor who knocked on Borja's window late one evening. When Borja called the police, the officer who responded said there wasn't much he could do because his boss is his boss. In December, a video circulated on social media showing Garcia arguing with people outside a residence while carrying what appeared to be a rifle. Borja was also in the video. Meanwhile, billboards urging residents to vote for the next AG and to choose a safer Guam have been taken down by DPW for breaking the law. The signs were placed along the roundabout that connects Tumuning and Tumon and were taken down yesterday afternoon for being posted within a right-of-way and without a highway encroaching permit. DPW Director Vince Areola says they were tipped off about the signs yesterday morning. It's unclear who paid to make the signs or what group installed them. The messages are not favorable to incumbent AG Levin Camacho, but neither Doug Moylan nor Peter Santos claimed the signs as belonging to their campaigns. Camacho's campaign manager also confirmed that the signs were not theirs. Guam has specific laws that govern political signs. Political signs may be posted only on private property. If that property is adjacent to a roadway, signs have to be at least 8 feet from the paved portion of the roadway and posted in a way that doesn't impede traffic or driver visibility. Complaints to DPW can be made at 646-3131. Photos of the signs and the location should be on hand. More news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
The Guam Election Commission is looking to issue fines to candidates and political organizations that failed to file final finance reports for the primary election. 8 candidates and political organizations failed to file reports, while a total of 20 missed at least one of the statutory deadlines to file financial reports. Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan says she didn't have data on the usual number of late and non-filers, though this year's crop did seem high. Though the commission does have the authority to enforce fines on those who violate campaign finance requirements, Pangilinan says they typically don't review filings and assess any fines until after the results of the general election are certified in December. She adds that commissioners on the Campaign Finance Committee are trying to address the issue that fines are handled on a case-by-case basis instead of standardized. The Election Commission doesn't have enough manpower to keep tabs on the financial reports. An assessment of fines was on the agenda for the Election Commission's meeting yesterday. And GVB has announced the return of the Guam Island Fiesta Tour. The program began more than 10 years ago as a way to introduce visitors into the homes of local families during various village fiestas. It was a grassroots approach that allowed visitors to experience the Chamorro culture at an intimate level while giving local families the opportunity to teach them more about Guam. This time around, the program will be held at the village community centers or other identified locations with set itineraries coordinated through the Mayor's Council. The villages of Umatic and Zonya will kick off the tour this Sunday, October 9. GVB has reached out to the Japan Guam Travel Association, Korea Guam Travel Association, hotels, and local tour operators to invite and bring visitors to the respective villages. They will continue to work with the Mayor's Council to schedule dates with key village fiestas in 2023. And those are your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
All right, get around to doing some of that here in just a minute. I've taken the time to go out and find it, which means that you're going to have to suffer me talking about something else. We were talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers because today is Amy Jo Johnson's birthday. I'm going to give you another piece of information that might floor you, or it might not. I mean, it might be one of those things that you just kind of live with. All
taking the time.
Mortal Kombat, spelled with a K, is now 30 years old.
No.
The game is 30?
Midway Games released Mortal Kombat arcade game in North America, which featured bloody fatalities, digitized characters, and started a franchise of games and movies. Mortal Kombat was adapted into 3 major motion pictures. The one from 95, Annihilation in 1997, and a reboot called Mortal Kombat in 2021. A sequel for that is in development. So one of the most beloved, video games of all time. Movie. It's a big, it's in the culture now. But the big question is, who wore it better as Sonya? In my mind, I think we got to go back to about 1995 when Bridget did the Sonya character. You remember?
Yeah.
Gotta love that. So I used to love playing that song. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's a good song.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's most people.
Techno.
Yeah, hard to get the approach of techno. I mean, so if you're watching the screen right now on YouTube or Facebook, that might have been maybe the best Sonya of all time. Now she was one of 2 female characters, right? And maybe that was one of the reasons why Mortal Kombat was so popular, because it had strong female characters in it that you could play with. I mean, most other video games
Kitana wasn't really. She didn't do much in the first movie.
Is it? Is that who I'm thinking of? Yeah, Kitana.
Yeah.
But that's the Kitana from 95, right?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I know. Some people wonder if I have a type.
No.
You may have the answer now, right now in front of you. 7:13 in the morning. So happy 30th birthday to Mortal Kombat. I want to go to the Old Kings at Gibson's and play Mortal Kombat at the entrance to there and just sit there. You ever been able to hear that from wherever you were in Kings?
I had my high school graduation dinner at that King's in Gibson.
I'm going to ask Mr. Alcorn for change.
You know what I'm talking about? What, Dave, bring it back. Bring it back. 7:13 on the Ray Gibson Show. Here it comes, the weather for today. Partly sunny, highs near 88 degrees. With the heat index, it's going to feel like 94. Calm winds becoming easterly about 5 miles an hour. We got partly cloudy skies in the forecast. Overnight lows should be about 78 degrees. Calm winds becoming westerly around 5 miles an hour after midnight. For tomorrow, mostly sunny in the forecast. Scattered showers and thunderstorms coming in tomorrow evening. And then by Saturday, partly sunny skies, highs near 85 degrees. Sunset tonight's going to be at 6:07. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together here on The Point.
BK's new Royal Crispy Chicken sandwiches are now available. Their new Royal Crispy Chicken is made with an all-white meat breast filet, creamy royal sauce, fresh lettuce, and ripe tomatoes in a warm toasted brioche bun. The new Royal Crispy Chicken sandwiches are available in 4 versions: classic, spicy, bacon Swiss, and barbecue bacon and cheese. Make it a meal with french fries or onion rings and a refreshing Sprite. BK's new Royal Crispy Chicken sandwiches are now available at your favorite location: Burger King, Tumon Bay, Hagana, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK your way.
News this hour is brought to you by the friendly and hardworking folks at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, Lolita, and their team of professionals. For all your real estate needs, contact Hoffaday Realty. Recently nominated as one of Pika's best real estate companies. Call 671-588-4232 or email hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. Located at 426 Challen San Antonio, Suite 204, Tumaning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. till 4 p.m.
That's right, guys. Vote Pika's best here radio station, The Point, and radio personality, the Ray Gibson. Portions of the broadcast made possible by American President Lines, APL, a global presence with a local home. Also being brought to you by the guys over at Guam Regional Medical City, your healthcare partners, and Nissan.
Bringing you close.
Have you looked at a Nissan lately? Yeah, I got you, didn't I? Probably should have warned you. Enjoy APRs as low as 2.99%, or better yet, $1,000 in free gas. Remember what I said last hour? OPEC says they're going to cut production, and one of the post, not the post, but further down in a story towards the end of a story from CNBC, they're talking about how the White House is disappointed because they were kind of hoping that the mighty influence of Joe Biden would have OPEC not slash production, but actually increase it by a couple of million barrels a day. But we don't need to teach the Saudis how to do mathematics and how to make money. So you're going to want to prepare yourself for more expensive gasoline and electricity coming. So get this deal over at Nissan. Again, APR as low as 2.99% or $1,000 in free gasoline. Terms and conditions apply. But definitely check out the Versa, which will get you 35 miles to the gallon. How does that compare with the ride that you got right now? 35 miles to the gallon. That's less gas station, bro. I'm telling you. Get into something like this. Super safe and uber attractive with crisp, modern exterior design that you are going to love. It is going to turn heads. This is the kind of car you don't want to get tinted. You want to have people see you inside your Nissan Versa.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
We got to put this in front of Tattoo Shauna's office there and on Marine Corps Drive. The sign says, "Get that tattoo. Your family's already disappointed." That's sweet. Where am I supposed to be headed here? It's a Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. Programming note in the 43 minutes, I got to leave. I got the call to provide my assistance to the criminal justice system in the form of jury duty today. And there was Lupang Guam on the YouTube side saying, "I did not realize that jury duty lasted so long." So here's the deal. There's 2 different juries in the courts. There's a petit jury, which is the jury of 6. You normally see that, and is it 6 or 12? How many people on a? It's 12 on a
12,
jury, right?
yeah.
Yeah. See, this I don't know because I've never actually sat on a pettit jury. You did? Okay, so you know how that is, right? So you make the phone call, and generally, a lot of times, unless you're actually sitting on a case, they just say check in next week or something like that. But for me, I get a note from them, and every Thursday since I've joined the grand jury, I've had to attend, and it sounds like it's burdensome, and it can be because it takes me away from you for a couple hours every Thursday. But there's a sort of family, if you will, that is developing among the people over at Jury Pool J. And last week, I told you we had somebody brought in lumpia, right?
I hope there's good food
it'd be
today,
one thing
Ray.
if somebody just brings like water or tea or something like that. But somebody brought
soup.
there was lumpia, and next to the lumpia was a tray of fried rice. I mean, not store-bought fried rice. Somebody made fried rice and brought it to the jury duty. So kind of curious as to what my breakfast is going to be here. I'll let you know as soon as they let me use my phone again. All right. So
what are you bringing?
What am I bringing?
Paper products.
How am I going to bring anything?
You got a phone?
I'm here at the radio
phone?
station. You know what? I'll bring Doug Moylan's avocado. I was going to give this to you.
There you go.
I was going to give this to you because I know how much you like avocados. But now
I opened my mouth, didn't I? That was it, huh?
You can have that. And anyway, 7:19 in the morning. A quick look at what's going on in the markets. I'm trying to remember how they ended up today. Down, as a matter of fact. Had a really good day yesterday, but all of that was sort of erased here as we're moving backwards again. The S&P 500 off by 7.65 points. They're at 3783. The NASDAQ at 11,148. They lost 27 points. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average drifted down as well, 42.45 points. Now, frankly, I'm surprised it's not a whole lot higher given the news coming out of OPEC. 30,273 for the Dow. Biggest loser, actually, they're all within a nothing of a percent, so I guess they were all losers today. No one any greater than the other. The FTSE is off by 33 points. I got the Nikkei up by 128 points. Hang Seng at 1,008 points higher for the Hang Seng Index. Good Hong Kong, 18,087 for them. Shanghai drifting down by 16, and I got the VIX down and the DAX is down as well. We'll take a look at what happened on the Dow and who the big winners were. Nike, Visa, United Health Group, Chevron Corporation, and Cisco Systems. Rounding out the bottom, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, the Dow Inc., Boeing Company, and Verizon. And we'll take a look at the commodities now because that's the way it goes. Oil at $88.03, up by $1.51 from the last time anybody looked. The big story here, this is screaming out of CNBC's market report, OPEC to cut oil production by 2 million barrels per day to shore up prices, defying pressure from Joe Biden's White House. More on that before too much longer. Gold at $17.25. That's off by about $5.50. Going to Japan, 144.62 yen to the U.S. dollar today. It's still up there, and no signs of slowing down on that. It just doesn't look like it's going to be happening, and a lot of people banking on a little bit of a weaker dollar moving in that direction so that we might be able to see more Japanese coming to Guam. Today is the 6th, and in about 5 days, they're going to be easing restrictions for in- and outbound travel with Japan, and naturally everybody over here, Guam, Hawaii, etc., hoping to get their fair share of Japanese coming to visit them. The big story in my mind, though, that nobody is talking about, you're not hearing about this from the media, we're not hearing about it from the JIC, we're not hearing about this from the high command. The other day, North Korea fired off a missile, and there was not, outside of Japan and South Korea, a whole lot of noise about it. The JIC came out and said, they fired off a missile, nothing to worry about. Not a major threat to Guam. What we are learning now as the days go by is enclosed in this story from South Korea. They fired an intermediate-range ballistic missile that crossed Japanese airspace and landed in the Pacific Ocean. This was Tuesday. Since September 25, North Korea had been staging a series of short-range ballistic missile launches, but by targeting the U.S. and Japan with an intermediate-range ballistic missile, the country has ratcheted up the level of its military activity. South Korea and the U.S. responded with joint attack squadrons squadron flights and precision bombing drills. On Tuesday, South Korean Joint Chief of Staff announced that at 7:23, a suspected IRBM was launched east of the village of Mokyeong in the Chagang province, and that passed through Japanese airspace. The flight distance was 4,500 kilometers, an altitude of 970 kilometers, and it was traveling at about Mach 17. A missile was launched at the typical angle of about 30 to 45 degrees. The distance of 4,500 kilometers was the longest trajectory yet for a ballistic missile fired by North Korea. It's believed to be a Hwasong-12, previously mentioned in the Guam strike plan that North Korea disclosed back in 2017. This is how bad it was in 2017. Virtually everybody in the radio business was being reached out to by journalists in the stateside media saying, hey, are you guys on Guam okay? Got the North Koreans doing some saber rattling. They're mentioning Guam. Are you afraid? Are you scared? And generally, when I talk to these guys, the answer was no. The latest RBM hits differently from previous missile threats in that it can not only reach Japan, but also Guam. The distance from Pyongyang to Guam is 3,400 kilometers. Do you remember what I told you the range of the Hwasong-12 was? 4,500 kilometers. Guam is well within the striking distance of this particular kind of missile. The Hwasong-12 that North Korea fired at a high angle in January of this year was calculated as having a flight distance of 800 kilometers, the actual flight distance being 4,000, with a peak altitude of 2,000 kilometers. By firing a missile at a typical angle this time, North Korea has shown that it can directly strike U.S. forces in the Pacific. And as I said, you're not hearing this from anybody else, but I feel like somebody's going to tell the story of North Korea, so that's why I'm doing that here. What do you think, Jer? Are you scared? Are you worried? Is this just another one of these? We've born and raised on Guam. You've lived here virtually all of your adult life, and there has always been a threat from somebody.
Yeah,
except the Japanese.
He's the last guy that I'm worried about. I'm seriously.
That maybe just worry about the strategies that are going to be in play here. You got the Chinese looking at Taiwan. They're not going to want to get their hair messed up, but maybe by proxy using North Korea to take care of whatever they consider threats to be here.
I tend to look at all of this and say that I don't think that we're going to wind up in a nuclear holocaust. I tend to think what's going to happen is the Chinese are going to use every piece of leverage they have in the Pacific to exercise their power and authority over every jurisdiction they can economically.
Already happening.
Happening, and they'll continue to squeeze the U.S. That way, and we're going to feel that one way or the other.
At 7:25 in the morning, Jerry Roberts in studio for the Extra Point and his Doug Moylan avocado. So let's get it.
Thank you, Doug.
Let's get it going. Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
Today, part 3 of our series on the roles of managers and leaders. Let's look at which role is best, more important, and which does that mean for your future. That's something that we ought to be thinking about next on the Extra Point.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Hafaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
The transcripts for the first 2 parts of this discussion are ready for you to download at guamtraining.com. See transcriptions number 1169 and 1170. Let me start today with some questions. Number 1, which job is more important, the manager or the leader? And secondly, which job is better, the manager or the leader? For the past 2 days, we've highlighted the distinction between the roles of a manager and a leader. A lot of people don't see any specific differences. Some don't care. as long as the individual does whatever is necessary for them to get their paycheck every 2 weeks. So let's answer those questions. You've probably guessed that the answers to both questions are it depends or it's a matter of preference. If you answered like that, well, you're right. In fact, there are no wrong answers here, really just opinions. As for importance, the leader might say that without the right vision and direction, and a team won't know what to do, and an organization will ultimately fail. The manager could respond that without the right person properly handling the process and getting the necessary results, it doesn't matter what the leaders want. Both would be right. You can argue these points until you're blue in the face, but the real answer is that you absolutely need both to perform successfully, or the organization and those within it will suffer the consequences. In my case, the most impactful person I ever worked for was my first boss, Big Ed. He made a huge difference in my life. He was wise and savvy. He was a great teacher, and yet he never showed ego, didn't care about authority. The other thing was that Ed was happy where he was in the organization. He could have made a move to climb the ranks, but he chose not to. He wasn't much for internal politics, which is often a necessary part of advancing. He was fine to manage a team, fine to grow talent, and fine to mold young minds like mine. Question 2 comes off differently. It seems we look over in the next person's yard and judge that the grass is greener for them. I've known managers who are envious of the job and the pay and the perks of leaders. They have it easy, some will say. I've also heard leaders comment on managers having it better. They say things like, managers get to go home and eat dinner with their family a lot more than I do. I work into the night and sometimes the weekends too. Some leaders find it challenging to disengage and get off their laptop or avoid texts and emails on their phone. It takes them longer to unwind at night, and sleep deprivation is often a constant part of life for them. As for Ed, it was just him and his wife. The kids were grown and had begun their own families. The house was paid off, cars were paid off. They had a few investments too. They'd done things intelligently. It was at a time when one paycheck was enough to live on. So the high-level corporate life had no pull for him. He said he wanted that dinner with his wife every night. Ed reinforced what my mom had always told me, that good work was its own reward, and that you worked hard for your benefit first, not the employer's benefit. You did it because it was a reflection of who you are. It's true, whether you're a leader, a manager, or you work on the front line. It's always about your personal work ethic, your credibility, and living up to the image that you have for yourself. Organizations need great managers, great leaders, and great frontliners. Do what makes you happy and gives you fulfillment. One is no better than the other. It's just a matter of finding what makes sense for you. In my time, I've been privileged to work for a couple of outstanding managers, one great leader, and I worked alongside some extremely gifted and loyal frontline talent. I've also worked for and with some people whose incompetence, intolerance, and flat-out arrogance made each day anywhere from difficult to miserable. On the plus side, it did make me appreciate the good ones a whole lot more. I hope that's also been your experience and always will be. That's the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Thank you, Jerry. Another outstanding series on the Extra Point. As you said, transcripts are available at
GuamTraining.com.
Find them today. Absolutely free. Download those, hand them out to your managers in the office, and maybe you can kickstart somebody into the path to leadership.
May I also say,
yes, sir.
If you don't mind,
please, I don't mind. Go ahead.
November 29th is now the date for Live to Lead. It'll be at Hyatt Regency Guam. It's more or less an all-day event. We're back in the hotels. We've been virtual the past couple of years.
Can Kenley and Guerrero come, or will you have him arrested if he shows up?
No, we won't arrest him.
Okay, just checking.
But we'd be happy to have Ken. It's good. It is brought to us by the good folks at AK. And also involved is ThePOINT and the Post and the Guam Chamber and the Guam Contractors Association, all come together every year to help put this event together and support it, and we're grateful for that. And the website is live2lead Guam.com. It is live, and pricing is variable. So right now there's a certain price, but there's a countdown timer on that price. When it goes to zeros, the price goes up.
The price is going to go up.
So if you're interested in something like that for your team, live2leadguam.com. Please go up and take a look.
At 7:32 in the morning, Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point. Now we switch over to news with Donna De Jesus. She's going to take care of news and headlines brought to you now by our friends over at Burger King. Vote BK for Best of Pika. A lot of different categories. Best burger, best fast food, best drive-through, and plenty more. Be on the lookout for them and give them your precious vote today. Also being brought to you by Hoffaday Realty. They are also in running for Pika's Best Realty. So find them under their services and give them a vote here. And if you want to buy a house, they say, according to the front page of today's Pacific Daily News, real estate sales are up. So there might be a deal waiting for you. Call Lolita Cammett. You can reach her at Hoffaday Realty, 588-4232. Open 10 a.m. to 4. You can find them at 426 Tellin San Antonio, Suite 104. Now with news and headlines, here's Donna V.
GPD is investigating an early morning crash through a guardrail in Chalampago that sent a car rolling down an embankment and overturning. At around 3:30 this morning, neighbors were awakened by a loud noise. Firefighters rushed to the scene to search the vehicle, but the driver and any occupants were gone by the time first responders arrived. Home video surveillance showed a person fleeing the scene immediately after the crash. The search is continuing. And GDOE officials could soon be hearing back from the U.S. DOE on whether some long-standing financial mandates get eased. Leadership from GDOE is back on island following talks with federal counterparts, and GDOE Acting Superintendent Francis Santos says the meetings went well, and the ultimate goal is to remove the financial oversight from GDOE. He notes that a decision on the third-party fiduciary agent removal could be made by next week. And as Guam's housing prices go up, the island is seeing a sharp increase in quarterly real estate sales. Sales volume was up 51% in the first quarter compared to last year. This includes sales of single-family houses, condos, and land. But owning a house has become more out of reach for many on Guam. But Remax Diamond Realty associate broker and GAR president Liz Duenas says amid all these concerns, Guam's real estate market is in general remains healthy and is being kept afloat by the military buildup. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
All right, I wanted to take a look at that story. It's just I'm getting kind of burned out on daily real estate and out-of-reach stories that we've got here, and they all seem to be blaming the same kind of people. And I think there are other answers that need to be addressed by the government of Guam and the people of Guam. 7:35 in the morning. What I'm looking for in the story, Casisco, Tepea, et cetera, talking about that increase in the percentages that have gone up quarter by quarter. And I'm kind of curious as to how many units we're actually talking about. Is it possible that a 51% increase might be a whole 3 or 4 units or something like that over the course of the quarter? Could be. 7:35, there it is. News, headlines, the extra point, all of it together here on The Ray Gibson Show.
It's not an accident to live a healthy, long life. It's a choice. The food you eat, the water you drink, the air you breathe. A deep, restful sleep along with exercise will put you on a good path to live a healthier, longer life. At NutriWay Systems, we choose to help people find the right solutions to live a longer, healthier life. Make the right choice. NutriWay Systems. Come by our office today. We are located on the second floor of the Daily Plaza in Dededo, or give us a call at 671-864-7867.
Tell me about it, stud.
Circle K's Craft Beer and Whiskey Festival is back on Saturday, October 22nd. We rockin' and rollin' at the Dusatani Guam Resort from 2 to 10 p.m. Bring your friends and come dressed in your best Greek costume to win up to $500 in cash and prizes. So bust out those leather jackets and 50-style outfits as we party the night away at Circle K's Craft Beer and Whiskey Fest. Don't be a square. Get your tickets now at craftbeerfestguam.com or cruise on by any 76 Circle K location. Now that's cool, baby.
Studio time 7:36 in the Ray Gibson Show 888-825-5888-TALK. Looking at the map here, what's it say about driving around town at this time of day? It says stay home for a little bit longer because this is drive time, baby. We're looking at southbound Marine Corps Drive traffic as usual at this time, getting crazy. Looking at traffic on the back road and that Attica four-way stop that people seem to just love and embrace. Thank you, Governor, for giving us a four-way stop at this. Were we out of traffic signal light systems? One we can take from someplace else and put it here so that there's a little bit more regulation going on there, and maybe the idea that people can drive southbound without getting slowed down so much. I'm sorry, I'm editorializing too much. Let me get you into the central areas. 8, 10, and 16 looking fairly busy as it does now. 10 and 15 busy. We've got traffic over at 4 and 10. Usual traffic around the schools on Route 10. Dogging out traffic on Route 8 is that's going to slow you down getting into downtown. If you're on that road, if you're on 4, you will find a couple of spots that will slow you down as well. Route 3, ugly. I'm sorry, I skipped this. Route 3, ugly from Ukadu all the way down to GRMC, but it will open up again. And Route 16 over by the Micronesia Mall seems to be running fairly clear. You will find some more traffic over at Polaris Point and the entrance to Big Navy, as well as the intersection from 2 to 5, that roadway that takes you behind the gas station towards the Payless. Now, they're doing apparently some road work down there. I haven't gotten any pictures of it, but people down in that area excited once again to be able to drive on roads that don't make those hubcaps fall off. And but the good side, it makes everybody's fun parts jiggle. Have you noticed?
Jiggle.
Jiggle. My money doesn't fold; it jiggles. It's 7:38 in the Ray Gibson Show. Be right back.
Want more internet speed, more mobile data, more TV, and more reliable phone service? Introducing the new GTA Choice Bundles. The more you choose, the more you save. And for a limited time, sign up for a new Choice Bundle with home internet service up to Internet 50 and get a free Roku Express. Or Internet 75 or higher and receive a $100 account credit. Visit GTA.net and get more choices, more savings with GTA's Choice Bundles. Conditions apply. See website for details. GTA. We start with you.
Attention GovGuam employees and retirees. Open enrollment is extended to October 10th. There's still time to choose Take Care and keep money in your pocket. Lower copays at preferred in-network providers. A payroll deduction as low as $2.04 bi-weekly. To avoid enrollment and payroll processing delays, enroll as soon as possible. Learn more at takecareasia.com/GovGuam2023 or call 671-647-3526. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Can do here. 7:39 in the morning. You're going to get hungry later. Our recommendation: Subway. You got to eat fresh to refresh, and you got to refresh to eat fresh, and that's what they are up to over at the Subway place. An incredible kind of sandwich for you: the new Baja chicken and bacon, loaded with hand-pulled rotisserie-style chicken, hickory smoked bacon, pepper jack cheese, and drizzled with the Subway's Baja Chipotle sauce. Your choice of hand-sliced veggies, all kinds of toppings on your favorite fresh baked bread at Subway. You got to refresh to be fresh.
The Coconut Wireless is back.
Yep.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
All right, reached out to folks in the Republican Party, wanted to get their comments on statements made by the Democrats yesterday, working for Lou and Josh, saying, hey, how come you don't want to do a debate with the tomorrow speakers and the women and other members of the media? And I guess the Felix, they reached out to him at KUAM. They didn't get any kind of response, so we'll see what we can find out from the guys over at in the Republican Party and why they don't seem to be interested in doing a debate. If I had Cousin Troy on the radio right now, I'd be in fact, if we had gone with plans that we had between Candid and the Point, there'd be a debate tonight. That was actually in the works. We were working on it, and I'm looking at the calendar, and I was like, wow, it's Thursday, and I haven't heard anything from anybody on a debate. So it looks like we might not have gotten the response that we wanted. Oh, and the response is, by the way, my money don't jiggle. You want to find out if somebody's spending a lot of time on TikTok and Instagram? That's all you need to say. Just
man.
Just go up to them and say, my money don't jiggle. And if they're going to come back to you and say, it folds. It folds. That's how you know.
It's stuck in my earworm, dude.
Yep. I like to see you wiggle. For sure. It makes me want to do the dribble. I know. Riding in the Fiat, you really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack. But luckily, the seats go back. There it is. There's an entire story about that particular rap. And every time my daughter tries to explain it to me, my eyes just kind of glaze over. And I just go, dude, I just like that one part. My money don't jiggle, jiggle.
It folds.
Thank you. 7:41 in the morning. And speaking of money now, the guys over at the Department of Education, Ed Board and Francis Santos, apparently got to spend some time with the U.S. Department of Education, maybe getting us closer and closer to finally eliminating the incredible spend on the third-party fiduciary that has been placed now, what is it, a dozen years? Mark Mendiola from the Ed Board online. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Ray. Happy day, Joe. Happy day, everybody. Yeah, wiggle, jiggle, and everything that we got to do to get ourselves out of this one. I think we're we're almost about there, man. I've been at this. I've been on the board for at least 5 years, and when I first came on board, I had no idea what high risk grantee designation meant. But as I started to get more involved, and I got to know what exactly it was, what it meant for the Department of Education. It's a lot of money that the government of Guam has spent over time because of, highlighted issues many years ago that were never addressed. And, obviously we came together when I came on the board and made me the chair of budget and finance and said, why are we spending this amount of money? And it basically gives us access to the federal dollars that come in. And primarily there's a consolidated grant, which is over about $60-70 million that goes for a lot of programs and services provided by this by the federal dollars, right?
Well, I mean, they wouldn't give us the federal dollars unless we had that level of oversight and compliance. So
right, correct.
It basically came down to that. But there was never, and this is I've been a part of this conversation since it started. And I want to say it was Narissa Underwood who was the first Department of Education superintendent that had to take on this for all intents and purposes, basically a receiver for that part of the Department of Education. Everything else seemed to be moving fine, but you also recall, I mean, some of the genesis of this also occurred at a time where it was the board seemed to be hostile to whoever it was that was sitting in the superintendent's chair. So there was no way that you could get the kind of a working together that you needed to even get a head start on it. But going back a dozen years or so, one of the things was there was never a clear end game here. DOE, you screwed up. We're going to put these guys together with you, and we're going to teach you how to work with the federal dollars and to work with the federal agencies. But they never said these are the milestones that you need to achieve to get out from under it. And that didn't start happening until you and John Fernandez went to D.C., 4 years ago?
Yeah, and I finally told John, I said, the board has to somehow be involved in this because it touches the local appropriation side of it. Out of our budget that, of course, we never get fully funded. We get about $3 or $4 million we have to set aside to pay for this third-party fiduciary agent that basically has oversight of how we have access to the funds. So you're absolutely correct, Ray. John and I, when I sat down with him, I said, the board has to be more engaged and involved. And since then, those trips to D.C., people sometimes question it, but, the thing that I have is we never really truly had an advocate to really just put it in their face and say, look, why are we on this for such a long period of time?
And Alvarez and Marsal were not going to advocate. There's some sweet money that they were making every year.
Yeah, and so, we reach out to our congresspersons, we reach out to Madeline, we reach out to Mike. We line up all the stars, but, we knew that we needed to get our house in order pretty much. And so when John and I figured out strategy, we started putting the pieces together and we finally said, you know what? We better ask. And so we did. And we started reducing the cost of the third party because the scope of work started to diminish. And so now we're at a point, this is where, I just recently went to D.C. and we met with the folks at high risk, but I invited the senior advisor to the secretary, Mr. Chris Soto. He came out here on this last visit. And, I can say that this Secretary of Ed is really interested in tracking and our progress and how we get to a point where we no longer have to have this oversight, but rather more of the technical support coming from U.S. Ed. And so what we pinned down on this meeting, Ray, was exactly what you said. What are the remaining points that we as a department need to focus so that you're comfortable lifting this off of because we provided, and I got to give it to Frank Cooper, even Colin Keitel, all these folks that were involved in the financial piece of it. We put the case forward and we said, look, the last 7-8 years clean audits. We have DJ Cruz who's on us for every little thing, and rightfully so. So all these things that we have aligned with our leadership, everybody knows what we need to do. And so we went with that message. We pinned them down. We said, we need to come out and do one last final visit and validate what we're saying. And if we're not, then, let us know.
Sure.
And then the other thing too that we said was, in their last letter to us, they acknowledge the progress that we have made and the true progress we made because of that visit. And I requested, and I got to give credit to Dr. Mary Okada. She's the vice chair, and man, she knows the language in D.C. very well, working with the federal grant partners. And so she was there too, and we basically said, look, significantly reduce the amount of services. So, it should reflect the amount that's costing us to have the third party. And so they said that they're going to provide us some feedback to the letter that we responded to. And, hopefully when that comes to us sooner than later, I look forward to them coming out probably early next year to come out and validate and say, okay, guys, these are the main issues. You've addressed it. And we are now going to move now to a different relationship with the Department of Education. And what the board's duties and responsibilities is really to just guide the superintendent. We provided a strategic plan. We provided a framework in which we built leadership capacity, how we spend our resources. And then also with all the issues that's going on with our facilities, now we have a facilities master plan, right, that puts a dollar figure to what these things are. And now, so when we use the data and the information that we collect from the schools, we got to go to the legislature and say, look, we have a reset button from the federal dollars, from the American Recovery Plan.
Right.
This is how we're spending the money. This is how we're backing it out. Now, moving forward in 4 or 5 years, if there's any maintenance issues, this is what needs to be addressed. And it's all going to be data-driven. And it's going to be staring them, and it's going to be glaring in their face. And it's going to be hard to say, we didn't know, or you didn't let us know.
Right, because we had it all written down. There was and is a plan that includes the work and the funding and procurement. Good news. 748. Mark Mendiola from the Ed Board. Speaking of potential and future superintendents, I understand that you were down to a list of 8 that have met everybody's approval. Now it's just a question of finding what the final 1 or 2 and start pulling out names. Can we start mentioning some of the names? Anybody I know?
There is a committee that of course I appointed a couple months back. They went through the vetting process. The board extended the search process. There was additional, I think, 8 names that came forward. I don't know the names other than the ones that didn't announce that they are looking for the position. But that's still going through that committee. Once they forward the name up to us, then we'll do the formal interviews, and then from there, the board will be able to make a selection.
All right.
So
okay, that's boring because I wanted to hear names. So thanks for nothing, Mark. I want to get some cool names. Give me, it's talk radio. I get to go. Oh yeah, he sucks. Get somebody else. They're gonna.
I was not informed of names.
All right. That's groovy. And listen, it's always fun talking with you. I got to run. I'm chasing down a couple of stories. Johnny Utah has called in and said the Norks have fired off a couple more missiles. This is not old news. Wow. He says as of about 20 minutes ago. All right, some interesting things that are happening in the region. 10 away from the top of the hour. Keep your head down. If you don't hear from me in the next hour, call the president.
All right, sir.
All right. You have a great day. 888. 888-8255. 10 away from the top of the hour. Program note, I got to leave at 8 o'clock when the Fox News starts playing so I can get to the courthouse to do my civic duty and sit in jury panel J. Wonder what we're eating for breakfast today. Is that Juan Carlos on the phone?
Juan Carlos Benitez.
Juan Carlos Benitez. And hopefully happy news after the president's visit to Puerto Rico. We'll start that. Puerto Rico. And in the wake of the hurricane that went down there and pledging virtually unlimited support for that island. Good morning, Juan Carlos.
Good morning. It's a warm half a day to the people here in Guam.
Nice. And so what are you hearing from Puerto Rico these days? Your family's okay? What are you hearing about recovery after the storm?
Yeah, my family now has power and water again, so they're very excited, and they're enjoying taking warm showers again.
Hey!
But but the president did the visit. The proof is going to be in the pudding. He stated a lot of commitment, but unspecified a lot of commitment. The one big thing is that 100% federal share on the first part of the recovery. That's great. So it's a great start. It's a hard one. They spend $960 billion in repairing the system, and it just went down in the next storm.
Right.
So,
well, was it corruption, just lowest bidder? Was anybody watching the spend? But normally in things like this, you would think that there would be somebody from the federal government eyeballing the installations of all of this stuff to make sure that it met the standards.
All of the above. I don't know if you're aware, but the former governor of Puerto Rico was arrested by the FBI and filed indictments. The number one fundraiser in Puerto Rico had a wiretap for 2 years in Puerto Rico. So they've taken down around 10 mayors, I think, so far, and they're continuing. Would not be surprised we find the same thing happening in the territories in the Pacific soon.
Well, I don't know who's got the calculators and the accountant hat. Hopefully, there's a whole lot of that kind of thing going on. I mean, this incredible amount of money that the federal government has put out in COVID-19 aid to various states and territories, and the incredible amount of fraud that we are hearing about. It seems to me that of the trillions that came out, half of it seems to have gone into crooked pockets. But we'll save that for another day. 7:53 in the morning. Juan Carlos Benitez is the chair of the Republican Party here on Guam, and I'm kind of curious as to your comments and your reactions to statements made by Roy Respicio from the All In campaign that came out yesterday.
Sure. Before we go there, you were talking to the education board candidate. I wanted to say, do a plug for my good friend Renate Camacho. She's running for the first time. She's a mother of two and a product of Guam's public education. I think she would be a great addition to the board.
Cool.
You guys give her vote. The response is what to be expected. They don't want to do any debates, right? They're arguing all or nothing. Nothing. We want nothing. Look, at this point, there definitely is a conversation going on between the Camacho campaign and the media organizations on whether to do debate and under what terms and conditions for it to take place. And it's a regular process. I'm just surprised that all of a sudden this thing's been thrown into media, and normally these conversations are just letters and emails between the parties and the group. It's weird to look at it. I'm sure there'll be a response, and they'll continue to try to figure out how to make it happen.
Right. Well, I mean, what were there any reason? I mean, they highlight in particular 3 separate debates. Among the Chamorro speakers, which is an annual. This is tradition. I mean, not an annual, but I mean, it has always been part and parcel of our gubernatorial elections. Women in business and the island's media. Now, when we say women in business, are we talking about the Women's Chamber of Commerce that was basically put together by Lulian Guerrero and her associates, and then there's the island media one. That one was vacated by Mike Nicholas just prior to the primary election because he didn't believe that certain members of that media cartel, he did not believe that they could be fair and balanced in their presentation towards him. And so he said, and I remember hearing the interview, and he said, "I'm not going." Are the feelings about the same among the Camacho Ada folks as they were with Mike St. Nicholas, that they couldn't get a fair shake from these groups?
Yeah, I'll let the campaign express their position specifically.
Nobody's talking.
That's what campaigns do. But I'll tell you, as an example, when was the last time Patty Arroyo invited me to speak in her show?
I don't generally follow them.
March 2021.
Wow.
And it's not that I'm not available or that I'm not the chairman of the party or that there's no issue that reflects the party position or concerns that are not being discussed in her show. It's just a decision of that particular person not to provide an even-sided point of view. on position and news that she's putting out. So
Yeah,
she should not be surprised.
I appreciate
She
you.
should
I
not be
appreciate
surprised.
the sentiment there. Although I have to admit my own guilt. It's very, very clear that I've got a bias against some of the policies and directions that this administration has taken Guam over the last 4 years, and would like to see a change coming up. So it's not as though I'm the most unbiased and balanced guy in media either. Of course,
but
I'm
Ray,
not a news guy.
Every time we speak, you normally end up by saying, I know the Democratic Party would like to have an opportunity. I'm more than glad they're willing to have them call into my show and come. The fact that they don't take that option is their decision.
Also true.
But you give them the option. I've not been given the option. I've not been asked once. So it's intriguing. Patty has been a reporter for a very long time. She's a very thorough reporter on her things. I'm just intrigued why. I must have misbehaved. I didn't make the list. Rumors run around who owns the station now, and around that time when the ownership percentage shifted, but we don't know. And it's interesting. And reality is, we need to move forward and figure a way. Look, they're trying to eliminate the not focus on the main issues. The main issues here is the conversations are regarding the media forum. I think everybody's interested in doing it. People are trying to make it happen. And there are other people that are just trying to make sure it never happens. So, you figure it out.
There has to be a debate, and there are more unbiased groups out there. If people are unsatisfied with the nature of the groups that are purporting to support these debates, there's always Rotary clubs, and in fact, the United Rotary Club community has participated in gubernatorial and congressional and attorney general debates over the course of political history here on Guam. Those guys can do it. They're also very good at finding unbiased people to come up with a line of questioning and unbiased, or certainly appearing to be unbiased, moderators for these particular events. Frankly, I think Ernie Galito has done an outstanding job with the chamber debates that have taken place so far.
He did an amazing job. And Ray, if it's a media debate, why not have every media have one of their persons do it? You should ask a question, and Troy should ask a question, have their people, ask a question on their side that we but at least if it represents all the media outlets, why is it just one person doing all the questions?
Interesting point. Once upon a time, there used to be, the journalistic community here on Guam that was united. There used to be a club, and there isn't anymore because politics, internal journalism politics, if you will. Juan Carlos, always an interesting conversation with you. If you can get a hold of one of the candidates maybe tomorrow after I'm done with jury duty today, we can go over this with somebody from the Republican Party and find out, again, what their hesitation is and under what conditions they would pursue a debate with the all-in folks.
Fantastic. Would love to help facilitate it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the voters need it. The voters need it. My guess is, and I'm not looking at any surveys or current research. I don't know that there is any right now, but I imagine that there's a huge population of people that are undecided on who they are going to be voting for. And unfortunately, unless we get them the information that they need to know about certain promises that need to get made, certain campaign issues, and how these particular politicians feel about certain of the issues, including crime and inflation, et cetera, I think there's a lot of people that might stay home at the general election because they haven't been given the opportunity to learn more about their candidates and make a choice, which is what they're supposed to do.
And I agree, and I think that they're using it as a distraction so we don't focus in the crime, the drug interdiction, the hopelessness, and actually the working poor that are barely making it here in Guam after this inflation continues to force them to decide whether they're going to have dinner or put fuel in their car.
Well, you and I are watchers of the economy around here, and I tell you what, outlook for 2023 from the people that I talk to and the people whose reports I read suggest that it's going to be rather grim next year, and we need to make plans for that, and that includes making sure we've got the right people to handle that kind of a fiscal emergency in the governor's office. I got to go. Fox News is already playing. I'll see you soon, Juan.
See you soon, bye-bye.
That's the KUSG Aganya. Here comes the news. I'll see you tomorrow.
Korea. Ballistic missile launches by the DPRK are unlawful. They're reckless and they endanger neighbors in the region.
U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield, this is South Korea's military says the North has launched another ballistic missile. The White House reacting to the decision by the OPEC Plus nations to cut oil production by 2 million barrels a day.
This decision by OPEC Plus is one purported self-interest, is a mistake, and it's misguided.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, President Biden's directed another 10 million barrels to be released from the Strategic Oil Reserve next month. Republicans have been critical of the president for using the reserve rather than incentivizing domestic oil production. A federal appeals court has sent a case over the legality of the DACA program for young immigrants back to a lower court to consider new Biden administration rules, even as it sided with the lower court's ruling against the program. On Wall Street, the rally runs out of gas, leaving markets lower. The Dow lost 42, the NASDAQ minus 27. America is listening to Fox News.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
There's a legal settlement in the on-set shooting of the Alec Baldwin movie Rust, which killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins.
Alec Baldwin's attorney confirming a settlement has been reached in the wrongful death lawsuit brought by her family against the actor and the film production. Her husband, Matthew Hutchins, will now executive produce the Western in a statement calling it a tribute to her final work, saying original principal players will be on board, that he has no interest in engaging in attribution of blame, and that he believes his wife's death was a terrible accident. A criminal investigation is ongoing. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Southwest Airlines pilot is suing the airline, her union, and a former colleague who pled guilty last year to deadbolting the cockpit during a flight and stripping naked in front of her. Christine Janning claims Southwest retaliated against her by grounding her, and she reported Michael Hack to the company and the FBI, and that they kept him employed despite prior claims of sexual misconduct. Hack's attorney says his client disrobed only after Janning encouraged him to and never did anything else. If you're searching for a Halloween costume, Pinterest may inspire you.
Pinterest revealing the top 10 trending Halloween costume ideas of 2022 based on user search data. Coming in at number 1 are costume ideas related to Netflix's hit sci-fi series Stranger Things, followed by Elvis and Priscilla. Patrick Bateman, the character portrayed by Christian Bale in the flick American Psycho. And following the sequel's release over the summer, Top Gun costumes are a hit search. Hocus Pocus, Harley Quinn, Lord of the Rings, Maddie and Cassie from HBO's Euphoria costumes, and costumes for Avril Lavigne making the top 10.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin, and I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to nectac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tumon location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
Alpha Day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. Clergy sex abuse survivor 79-year-old Leo Tudela told the bankruptcy court the settlement deal with the Archdiocese of Agana will have more protection for children. The settlement is part of the new court-confirmed joint plan for reorganization for the Archdiocese. For Tudela, the chairman of the creditors' committee of mostly abused claimants, another important part of the settlement is the child protection protocols. Tudela told the court no kid should be residing in the rectory, as he cited examples of specific, easy to understand items in the child protection protocols that abuse survivors and the Archdiocese have been drafting. Tudela was 13 when a priest and other clergy sexually abused him. He says the protocols also include not allowing any child to ride in a vehicle alone with a priest or another clergy member. In several Guam clergy sex abuse claims, priests abused children in vehicles or drove to places where they abused them. Tudela adds that every priest and other church official coming to Guam should also be vetted first, which helps identify those with prior child sexual abuse cases or other crimes. At the confirmation hearing, the judge noted the absence of a registry of offending priests and other clergy. Meanwhile, Congress has extended Guam's 83% federal matching assistance percentage, or FMAP, for Medicaid for 3 days. Any lowering of the rate would either cause the GovGuam to pay more in fund expenses from the care received by Medicaid patients, or impose a smaller funding cap for those covered under the plan for the newly started fiscal year. The congressional legislation is a temporary funding measure to hold over federal agencies until mid-December, as Congress works out a larger budget bill moving further into fiscal year 2023. The FMAP represents the percentage, a share of Medicaid expenses paid for by the federal government. It has fluctuated recently, but has been historically set at 55% federal and 45% local for Guam. Since fiscal year 2020, the FMAP had been set to 83% federal. Guam has an additional 6.2% in federal coverage since March 2020 as a result of COVID-19, raising the total FMAP to 89.2% federal coverage. Public Health may be looking at a nearly $20 million shortfall in fiscal year 2023 if this expanded FMAP is not extended. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
An upcoming breast cancer awareness wave, plans for Guam's Veterans of the Year, and a gala by Vero were announced during the Mayor's Council of Guam meeting yesterday. Council President and PD Mayor Jesse Alex says Guam Cancer Care will host its 11th annual breast cancer awareness wave 4 to 6 tomorrow afternoon at the ITC intersection in Tamuning. Participants are encouraged to wear pink to show their support. Plans for the Veterans of the Year ceremony on November 11 were also discussed. Alex says applications are due October 17 for nominations. Tamuning Mayor Luis Rivera informed the council that Vero will host a gala to celebrate the organization's 40th anniversary from 6 to 10 on Saturday, October 15 at the Nico Hotel. Tickets are $100 and funds raised will benefit those in need of Vero's services. And for those who are taking the election courses at UOG to work at the general election polling sites will not be getting the free college credits. A course and internship on elections administration was meant to help the Guam Election Commission recruit precinct officials. UOG is hosting the course but has declined to provide students the 2 college credits that the Election Commission wanted. GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan says registered voters and students can still take the elections course and work on Election Day for a $350 stipend, but will only be able to obtain continuing education credits. The course is still enticing for teachers who need those credits for recertification. Pangilinan says interested teachers had schedule conflicts for the Friday morning classes. An additional Saturday class will be opened up if at least 10 teachers submit their registration forms. But those who signed up for the 2 college credits previously promised will have to pay full price of $442. Pangilinan says it's too late to renegotiate the deal with UOG as the course has already begun. Registration to be a precinct official is open to the public. Applications are available at the Election Commission office at the Oka Building in Tamuning. There are 33 days left until the general election. Early voting starts next Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock at the Westin Resort Guam. The deadline to register for the general election is October 24. And those are your top stories on The Point. We now join our network program already in progress.
Good politics. Even the New York Times, by the way, has confirmed that voter momentum has now shifted in the GOP's favor. Democratic Party prospects have dimmed significantly in the last few weeks, so much so